Hey guys, what's going on? I am Hunter. Welcome back for another SC2 commentary. Today's matchup is featuring a brand new map. As I'm sure at least some of you are aware, there were a lot of complaints regarding the current 1 versus 1 map pool on Battle.net. A lot of the maps are being, accused of being imbalanced towards one race in a given matchup, or they're too small, the rush distance is too short. It really favors, micro play over macro play, for example. So the GSL actually took sort of the initiative to introduce some new maps in their recent tournament, the Team League tournament, and this happens to be one of them. The name of this map is Crevasse, and it features it's a very large map, 4-player map, very spread out, definitely favoring macro play, and really does lead to more interesting games. But I kind of want to introduce the players a bit more. So of course, Sen is the top left position red Zerg player. Sen, native to Taiwan, is basically considered to be the best player coming out of that country currently. He just has a very solid reputation, not just in Starcraft 2, but in Brood War as well. He's always been a very formidable opponent. But I can't take anything away from Sen's opponent, OrzRush, the light blue Protoss player at the bottom left position. OrzRush is actually the #1 player on the ladder in Taiwan right now. So that's a pretty impressive achievement as well. Now, just to sort of tell you briefly about the map as these players, get their builds underway, as OrzRush's probe is scouting and Sen's first base going down at the top of the ramp. On Crevasse, you have a ramp leading up to the high ground with your natural base, so that's a pretty unique feature. You don't usually see your natural go on the high ground. Just a regular number of mineral patches at your natural base. Some of these maps actually change up the number of mineral patches a little bit, but not the case on Crevasse. And your main base, quite large overall. The overall surface area of your main base, quite big. And then you've got this ramp that leads down to sort of the rest of the map. Now this ramp has destructible debris on it, which is really unusual. So you have a small ramp to start, and then if this destructible debris gets destroyed, the ramp becomes much larger. So that's a very interesting characteristic as well. And then as you sort of enter out to the middle portion of the map, you've got your potential third base, and over here is a gold as well. Lots of these new tournament maps don't have any gas at the gold, though, interestingly enough. Just the 6 gold mineral patches, 4 Zelnaga towers in the middle of the map, surrounding this middle high ground portion here. And the other destructible debris is just on this ramp right here, which can potentially make the rush distance shorter, like for OrzRush, for example. His destructible debris is right here. If this were out of the way, he would have a slightly shorter rush distance to Sen's base. But as is, without the destructible debris being destroyed, all players need to head to the middle of the map before you can head over to your opponents. So, I mean, this isn't a map review. This is a shoutcast, a commentary. So I'm going to stick to sort of the analysis of what's going on here. But I wanted to just identify some key features of the map so far. So Sen's drone rather, has scouted the very fast Nexus going up for OrzRush. I've seen a couple games of OrzRush's recently, and he definitely favors a macro style, putting down his Nexus quite early. The drone does get taken out, so we can see on Sen's vision, he has scouted just about everything. I'm wondering if OrzRush is going to go for fast Stargate, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. I mean, 3 gateways down already. I've seen OrzRush favor pretty fast Phoenix play as well, so I was kind of just curious about that. Back at Sen's base, of course, Sen has had his natural base up for a little while now, and his lair tech on the way. Currently just mining off of 1 gas, and he hasn't actually even researched Zergling speed just yet either. Want to take a look at the income tab. Both players neck and neck with 34 harvesters. This queen heading out very quickly just to get some extra shots in at the probe and to take it out. Good awareness and good positioning. Spine crawler on the way. Metabolic boost on the way finally, and a second extractor getting placed down as the lair tech is nearly complete. Sen actually has 3 queens on them. Oh no, not 3. Excuse me, just 2 queens. I guess he just waltzed this the second queen back up to his natural base very quickly. But I'd like to almost see a third one, just get that creep spread going a little bit. But Sen actually looking to play very defensive at this early stage, as he's getting he's going to have 4 spine crawlers up very shortly. OrzRush mining off of 4 gases and getting a Twilight Council. So OrzRush is going to go very heavy on gateway units here in the early game. And he's actually getting a Forge as well. So I would certainly expect some kind of timing attack from OrzRush as he produces off of 5 gates. And is he going to get Blink or Charge? It is going to be Blink. So we're going to see lots of Stalkers for sure. Sentries, I'm sure, coming into play as well. You know, you got to trap your opponent's units and really abuse that blinking ability. And I'm sure that we're going to see some upgrades from the Forge as well to sort of open up that timing window and try to push into Sen's base. We'll have to keep an eye out, see if OrzRush actually does decide to take out these destructible rocks and, you know, cut down that distance just a little bit. And, I mean, it's always beneficial, you know, if you're on the attack, take out these destructible debris as well. If you can't push right up into the main, at least take these out. It makes it a little bit harder to defend for, you know, the defending player. In this case, Sen is what I was referring to. Spire on the way, as well as a Hydralisk Den that has just popped. So, no Hydralisk just yet on the production tab, but Sen definitely going to get mutas and do some harassment. This Nexus at the natural base, very susceptible to actually air harassment, just because there's so much open space behind the natural. You can really dart Mutalisks in and out and snipe probes wherever possible. Look at this, Sen expanding now at the far right position, sort of the 2 o'clock position on the map. This is actually the natural base of this top right main base. So definitely an unexpected position. I don't think OrzRush will ever know about this. Well, I shouldn't say that, at least not in the near future though. But OrzRush now moving in. He's got 9 Stalkers now with Blink. And I want to keep an eye on OrzRush's vision. There's so many spines at the top of the ramp, along with Hydras as well as Speedlings. It's actually very difficult, even for Stalkers with Blink, to push into that sort of fortified defensive position. It makes sense that Sen is actually getting this 2 o'clock base. It would be, you know, impossible for Sen to pick up this base at this stage of the game. So I do like that decision. Sen spreading the creep really well as well. And look at all those mutas. 11 Mutalisks on the production tab. Look at this Spire placement as well. I didn't spot it before, but look at this. He's going to want to drop creep as well. Watch him. He's going to drop creep so that the Spire doesn't die, because it will die if it's not on the creep. But yeah, interesting to really, really hide that tech structure, just abusing how huge this map is. And now we're going to get sort of the first harassment of the game, as we've got 10 mutas. Now, flyer upgrades as well on the way. Let's see how many kills they get. Taking out 2 quick probes, make it 4 or 5 probes. Let's actually take a look on the units tab. Currently at 51, down to 48, 47 probes. Down to 43 probes. These Mutalisks just doing so much damage, and these blinking Stalkers have to get in position to deal with it. And only getting a few shots off on these Mutalisks, not even any Mutalisk casualties, before they continue to just abuse these workers now. 54 drones for Sen and only 36 probes for OrzRush. So these blinkers here, not really defending as well as I'd like to see against these Mutalisks. It's not easy though on a map like this. It is very wide open up here, and it makes it quite easy for the Mutalisk to sort of dart in and out. Guardian shield goes up, but that sentry gets sniped in a hurry. Lots of blinking Stalkers moving into position. Now that was a really good blink. As we take a look, how many Mutalisks are going to go down? At least 2, maybe 3 Mutalisks get taken out there. Maybe just 2. But a lot of Speedlings now sort of rallied down to OrzRush's base, but now just heading back home, as Sen is now picking up a 4th base, and the macro for the Zerg player is going to really start to kick in soon. So OrzRush needs to do something. He has 1 Colossus as well up here on the high ground. Not really sure what use it has up there, but I mean, this cliff walking ability always helpful to get into the appropriate position. A couple more Mutalisks do get sniped, so now these blinking Stalkers doing a little bit more work, but map control still going to the Zerg player. Look at Sen's vision. just completely dominant map control. He knows everything that is going on essentially across the map, as this was the third base actually now finally kicking in, and this was the fourth base that went down here. A couple more spines going up as well. Mutalisks now have +1 attack. No upgrade for the ground units just yet. And I certainly expect to see some more Mutalisk harassment, as there are more upgrades as well for these gateway units. Actually, any ground units, +1 attack and +1 armor on the way. More Colossi on the way. Queens on the production tab as well. But yeah, I mean, let's look at OrzRush's vision as he attempts to, you know, defend off these Mutalisks. It's really not easy, but Blink helps a lot, and a lot of these Mutalisks, I mean, quite a few casualties. Let's actually take a look at the units lost tab. OrzRush is slightly behind, but you know what? The amount of resources lost is actually not that much more. It's only about 550 more resources lost. As still, though, map control just so dominant in Sen's favor. I'm wondering at what stage OrzRush actually wants to move out and do something, because he can't stay sort of... I mean, it's you could almost call it a containment. It's like, with respect to vision, it's a containment. I mean, Sen knows exactly when the Protoss player is moving out. So, although containment is the wrong word, I just want to emphasize how dominant the map control really has been for Sen this whole game. And OrzRush really, just going all out, pulling his probes out too. He knows he's so behind on the macro that he's just moving out with everything that he has. Blinking Stalkers, Colossi, and a ton of probes. This is going to be do or die, all or nothing for OrzRush here. Basically, if Sen can defend this, he is going to win. But is he going to have enough? It's a little bit hard to say. These Mutalisks sort of taking on any reinforcing Stalkers, you know, getting shots in wherever they can, but these Mutalisks are going to be needed to defend if Sen stands a chance of fending this off. A lot of spines, speedlings sort of funneling in, but these probes actually absorbing a lot of the damage. All the Mutalisks get taken out, and oh my god, this is a lot of blinking Stalkers. Is Sen actually going to be able to hold on here? I mean, he's got a lot of bases. I'm sure he's got a lot of larvae, and he's still leading on the supply, but OrzRush just has such a huge army, and he's pushing in. He's only got 1 Colossus left, and he's got about 35 or slightly more Stalkers, of course, with Blink, and lots of Speedlings on the production tab. Sen is going to want to reinforce this and just rally in as many units as possible, because once again, if he can fend this off, he is going to win. But wow, this is just such a heavy assault, and Sen calls GG. Unbelievable. I'm really shocked at OrzRush's ability just to, you know, acknowledge, okay, I need to win now or I am going to lose. Sen has complete map control. He's got 4 bases, and OrzRush, with all of his probes as acting as a meat shield, wins it. Very impressive, very exciting. I hope you guys enjoyed this game. I'm going to take a look at the other replays between Sen and OrzRush and do some more casting for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this game, alright? Look forward to more of my commentaries.